All right. So quick intro before we start. Martin is the founder of Refix, an AI-powered service that helps Amazon sellers protect their brands basically by getting fake reviews taken down. And before Refix, they were inside the Amazon world at Amazon itself, but also at the Razor Group. And what's interesting is that you've built Refix as a lean bootstrap business, and that's also what we dive into today: the systems that you've built as a founder and how you structure your work to protect your time. So welcome, Martin. Great to talk to you today.
Thank you, Fabiano. Thank you for the invite and looking forward for our podcast today.
So let's kick off with with the first question regarding systems. Can you walk me through the most important system automation that you've built so that Refix can basically run without depending on being you depending on you being online all the time? So what is the most important system automation that you've built over the last years?
Yes, maybe I just take a minute to dive a bit deeper what we exactly do, so it's more understandable which kind of systems we have. So as you said, we started off with protecting. So our main goal is protecting brands, and we're in this niche Amazon sellers because I also came from this niche. I know the struggles those sellers have, as I have been on the one side as a partner through Amazon when I worked there, but also from Razor Group where we were the sellers. And we wanted to use AI to leverage a lot of the workflows these sellers go through and help them protect them from things that are usually very difficult. So we try to really tackle the difficult issues these sellers face and also use legal solutions through that. So we partner with lawyers to actually escalate any kind of things if we see, okay, there is no resolution. And this is more in a nutshell what we do. And how we build systems, what our DNA is in building systems is we always try in the beginning to do it as manual as possible, actually. So we I now I have a team, but when I started off, I didn't have a team. I was alone. I solo bootstrapped it. I try to make it as manual as possible, like every kind of workflow we have. And then really write it down, nail it down, and then understand each part and get a vision of how could this be actually completely end-to-end automated. I'm a big believer in AI, so I think there is actually currently, especially with the models right now, there is not a lot of things you cannot automate. So you should be able to automate actually literally most of the things. And this is also what we spend most of our time inside the company with, creating like loops, creating automations, and then also building new products. So this is something AI is not so good in yet, but yeah. And our most important system is how we get the cases and how we actually go through the whole workflow. So what we really try to do also is bring our customers proactively the potential they have. Let's say there are fake reviews, we show it to them. Let's say they have competition which is unlawful, we showcase it to them. So this is one of our main automations which we have and which is very crucial because otherwise in a different world you without AI you would need to have a person checking in on their brand, checking what's possible, doing some analysis, doing a PowerPoint, and then selling it to them more or less. We have this distilled all of this into a dashboard and can proactively show them what's possible. And this is more or less our sales channel. This is our 24/7 sales channel. So the people and our customers, they already know what we can offer to them through automation.
Okay, cool. And just like going back to the part where you said you do manual work first, especially when you started off as a solo founder, how did the process look like? If you say you did the manual work first and then you decided what to automate, how does this like I did the manual work first look like? And also how did you set the foundation for the automation for internal processes or whatever you wanted to automate? Did you track anything? Did you just write down how many hours it took for the task? Did you have a Notion page where you had all your processes and then you decided, okay, which is the most important one? What was the process during that time?
Yeah, good question. I'm actually not a super structured person. I need to be honest. So It was more kind of a feeling, because it's also quite difficult to be very structured if you're alone. You're usually just like all over the place and trying to fix everything. So, but you have a feeling like, when is routine work taking over actually work where you grow the business. And when you start to have that feeling, you go like, okay, this should be automated, or here we should build systems. And then nowadays I do this still the same. Then I more or less decide, okay, should I? We have ownerships now in the team. Who's the owner for like this automation, where we see, yeah, it's taking more time. And even if we are very early in the beginning, so I don't have like a measure where I said, okay, we already spent 30 hours manually on this. We should spend 10 hours, 20 hours now to automate it. And even sometimes we spend only 1 hour on manually on it, and then we know we will spend a lot of time in the future, so we rather automate it now very quickly. And yeah, this is what this is usually what I do. So I really check into it. How I do the manual part is, I usually imagine how would it look like in a perfect way. So I strive for perfection in the manual work, and then I try to see, okay, I will need to have some. It won't be perfect maybe with AI, but we can live with 98% in most of the cases. Even if there is 1 to 2% drawbacks, we need to see how we can catch them. Maybe then in those cases we need to have someone manually looking into it, so we have like a flag. But it's still okay. You save 98% of the time. This is something with AI. It's mostly not right now the case. You have these edge cases where it sometimes like breaks. So you need to sometimes have a human in the loop, especially in very important things. You see it with customer support, right? So customers, a lot of companies already use AI for customer support. And to be honest, right now, I actually used a couple of them the last few days, and it works quite well. And sometimes I even prefer it to a human, because a human usually takes like 5 minutes. Then I have the tab open. I don't know if you know it, like remember you talk to someone and then it's actually a human, but then you need to wait 5 minutes. And sometimes I close my laptop, I forgot about the conversation. I need to restart the conversation. This doesn't happen anymore, I feel like, with a lot of the companies who use AI. You just go and talk with an AI, and then you can escalate and open a ticket, and then they respond to you usually via email also. But that's actually, I like it more, because I remember when all these AI support things started, people were very afraid and thought that customer support will deteriorate now, and we will have like not very good customer support anymore. But yeah, that doesn't seem to be the case for me.
Regarding this, is there some task or some process that you would never outsource to AI, also with customer facing, for example, or in the product? Can you already see cases where you are, okay, not even in the future, or not in the next months at least?
I think customer support is like one case. We do now have like an AI agent in the first line, but we actually switch it quite quickly. And you always have the option to talk to a human with us, so you don't need to like kind of hack the agent and say like, hey, please connect me to a human, because some people do that. We always have a button like talk to a human if you want, but sometimes this is like my philosophy. I think if you if I mean, in our case also business and the decision we have usually, we don't have like millions of customers. We have 1,000+ customers now, but these are like high value customers, B2B customers, where you can afford to talk to them. This is not like a $10 subscription. But then of course there is like some economics you need to understand. Can I even have a customer support for like someone who's paying $9 per month? It might not be. But for us it is, and I think it's also very important for the customers to know that there is a human on the other side. And I would not automate that. And also sales. So if you do sales, I don't have like an AI camera now and like an AI person talking to someone. And I don't think I will do that in 3 years, even if I think this, like maybe in like 3 years we couldn't differentiate between this podcast being like taken by an AI or like by actual humans. And but I still think we will have some kind of verification, and we want to hear to actual humans in most of the cases. Or we at least want to know, is it human or not? And maybe sometimes I want to hear to an AI. I don't know. Maybe that's the case. Sometimes people do
maybe
talk
there are some cases,
like
yeah.
friends, so some people are lacking it. And yeah, this is for me, it's everything customer facing actually. So where you actually like want to build a relationship, and we're not replacing with AI.
Makes sense. Coming back to you personally as a founder, how would you say, how do you structure your day or your normal week as a founder, as a lean founder? And maybe also, how does your calendar look like on a daily basis? What are the non-negotiables there in the calendar? How many meetings? How many focus time? If you just can give
Yeah.
us a deep dive into how your day looks like.
Yeah, this is something very interesting, which like developed a lot for myself in the last like 6 to 12 months, where I also started building more of a team. Because I mean, you have limited time, and your channel is called 40-hour entrepreneur. So I also believe in that philosophy that you like shouldn't be. I personally, I don't think I'm more, at least in mid to long term, not more productive when I work like 80 hours,
Mm-hmm.
40 hours, maybe in 1 week or so. Maybe there's a certain week where I have a lot to do and I just need to like keep pushing. Then sometimes I need to do like 60, 70 hours. But I don't think it's something you can do like long term. And I think, especially nowadays, I know sometimes I'm wandering a bit with your question, but I think this is interesting, especially nowadays with like AI. I feel like the edge we have over AI is not like creating presentations or doing like some Excel work, because you can just prompt ChatGPT and it will do it quite good,
Yeah.
maybe even better than you. But it's more like the ideas and the creativeness. They're not there yet, and they might not be in the next 1, 2, 3 years. I think like bringing together your different niches, like knowing, okay, how does it like work in law, how is like ecom, and bringing into many ideas. This is something which AI and large language models have not been able to replicate that well. I tried it out actually, like we tried it out frequently to see like, can, for example, the newest cloud model, Fable 5, come up with good ideas to improve our product. Some
Mm-hmm.
ideas do give us like a bit of an of like maybe like a subtle idea where we could go into that direction, but I never seen like a really good idea where I'm like, okay, I'm 100% going to do it, and this is perfect. This should be like my strategist. They're not really there yet, and I think this is like the biggest thing where like AI, where we are still better in AI. It's probably like one of the bigger things. So that's why, coming back to your question, how I structure my week is I try to keep it also calm, because I think it's very important to be creative. And you cannot be creative if you like doing 10 hours of email and Excel work. There's just
Mm-hmm.
like no space in your mind left to come up with good ideas. So that's why I try to keep it calm as well, to also not be like too much on my phone, to not be too distracted, to be focused, and to also sometimes just like walk around, like take maybe a longer without phone, your lunchtime, and just like do a half an hour stroll after you took like some lunch, after you ate something. I think those are like times where I always like come up with good ideas, and then I try to like write them down when I'm like back in the office. And like a week or a day, I usually try to prepare the evening before, at least like the big task I want to accomplish the day tomorrow, so I don't wake up and I don't really know what I'm going to do today. So I really think the night before, like when I wrap up my day, okay, what do I need to do tomorrow? And write it in my, I think there is some name called for it. I think it's called like boxing or so, where you like put in your calendar like
Yeah,
boxes.
yeah. Time
What is
boxing. Yeah,
time
I think it's
boxing?
time boxing.
Yeah, I actually have been doing it for a couple of years now, like maybe like two, and I don't always do it exactly in that same time spot. Sometimes, like, I don't know, a meeting took longer or something happens, but it still helps me. So I can still see, okay, this was tomorrow, and I usually color code them. I have like one color for me, it's like blue, where it's not resolved yet, and then I have
Mm-hmm.
purple. I don't know why. It's actually, I think like Apple has like these automated. I usually like Apple Calendar has these automated colors. I use like purple to see like what's done, and so I usually switch the colors when it's done, and then I just push it when I see like, okay, on that day I didn't make it, I push it to the next day, and I try to give it a good estimate, like how long it takes, half an hour, 2 hours, and the evening before I come up with like 2, 3. I don't fill my whole day. I try to leave a lot of like empty space, because usually always things come up. I
Mm-hmm.
usually start my day with like checking email, and then like there is always some kind of firefighting, and those things are like I put them then in the day, so I put them in the empty spaces I have left. And yeah, this is more or less like my structure. I always try to have like some conversations with customers, even though we have like salespeople now and other people in my team have are taking care of that as well. But I still try to be in touch with customers to understand like what are the issues, where can we do better, where is the market maybe evolving, and maybe usually the best ideas come from customers as well. They know like what their issues are the best, and it's very good to always keep in close touch with them. A lot of my customers,
Mhm.
like my best or closest customers, they have my WhatsApp phone as well. I try to still keep it a bit close, so not too many people write me because it's always also difficult to like get. It's you can quickly get overwhelmed with WhatsApp. But yeah, that's how I stay like in touch and know like also it helps my creativity. It helps also the like being focused and motivated as well, because
Mhm.
it's like motivational to know like yeah, your customer really likes it, and maybe they appreciate it. Yeah.
What's like you said you do time boxing and you time box your calendar. So if you look at the last week, for example, you probably see what you've done and what you spend your time on. If you look into the future, is there something that you would like to be different when you look at the time boxes of last week's, for example? For example, more strategy time, more customer meetings. Is there something that you will see like a pattern telling yourself, okay, like in 5 years, for example, if I'm still running my startup, still running my business, what is a big difference when it comes to my calendar I want to see? Can also be outside of work. So maybe if you're missing something outside of work, I want to get more time for that. Fine as well. But what do you
Yeah,
think about it?
good question. I would say for me, it's right now. Even I have times where I would say it's really good. It's like perfect already. I wouldn't want to change it
Nice.
in 5 years, but maybe like last week wasn't, for example. But it's always it's very dependent um, on the phases we are currently like in the business. If there's like something changing and we need to like firefight or we need to like change strategy, I'm of course more sometimes more distracted. I try to like take care of 10 things at the same time, and those are usually the times where I'm also like thinking about, okay, we should hire a person for like this task or like this whole ownership, this whole
Mm-hmm.
area, because it's taking too much of my time. And I think in a perfect world, I can focus. I think as a founder, if that's what you like, it's usually the best. Or like if you see the CEOs, they are not like working on Excel or so. They're usually thinking most of the day. They make very few very important decisions every day. If they do like one or two very important decisions, that's already really very good CEO. He's not like checking in and doing like some Excel. That's not what a big like a company CEO should do. I mean, I'm still much more hands-on because we're like a smaller company, of course. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
not like a S&P 500 company yet. um, but yeah, so but I still see like that has changed for me. I've been going more into that direction since I started, of course, where I was like fully hands-on, doing everything from customer support to like tech to really everything. Like there was no one else. Maybe Claude, if you count them as an employee or like a coworker. But now I see that for like ownership or like areas of the business which I've handed over to employees or to coworkers, um, I'm more on the strategic side. So I try to still, of course, be in touch with them because we are now like 4 or 5 people,
Mm-hmm.
um, and I still try to understand that area. So to be a sparring partner for the person who's owning it, but more on like a high level way. So I'm not like executing, let's say, on the tech side or building that product and knowing every like detail and every small challenge. But I know the big picture and I know where it should go. And this is like where I want to, yeah, work mostly also in the future. So know the
Nice.
areas that are important and be able to like maybe sit for half an hour, talk to an AI maybe, and or just stare at the wall or like walk around and think about that issue for longer periods. I think that's the best use case for like a founder and how I also want to spend my time. Yes.
Nice. We're already approaching the rapid fire questions. Thanks, Martin, for the insights regarding your systems. I think you have like an exceptional like journey in terms of how you outsource things. At least how I get the impression of, because I think that's most of the big challenge for a lot of founders when it comes to growth. So quite impressive how you structure your work and your day. Are you ready for the rapid fire questions?
Yes, I really I think I'm like not prepared at all, so maybe I need 5 seconds more, but I try to be as quick as possible.
All right, then I would say let's start. It's I think 10ish fast questions for you. And as I said, one sentence or one word if it fits,
Okay.
and very spontaneous. Okay, the first question I ask every founder who came up: if you had to start Refix again with only 500 euros, what's the first thing you'd spend it on?
Mm, well, very difficult. I would say on myself actually. I think like developing yourself. Yeah.
Like skills or
Exactly.
in
I,
general?
I
Okay.
wanted to keep it in one sentence, but yeah.
Okay, yeah, makes sense. Makes sense.
Yeah, like skills and investing it in yourself. I think like spending it on Google Ads is not the best, and using like a cloud code subscription. I would probably now, if you actually ask, I would just get like the Max subscription. I think that's the best. That's also but you mostly for yourself. So get like a Cloud Max or ChatGPT Max subscription, $200.
Would you rather have 10 more hours a week or 10 more customers this month?
10 more hours.
Your daily stress level as a founder from a scale from 0 low and 10 very high.
5, 4 or 5.
How many hours do you work per week on average?
40 to 50.
What's a task you still do manually on purpose, like not automating, no AI?
Sales.
Most important software tool that you're using?
Is Cloud considered software?
Yeah, I'd say so. Other founders said the same. So it's
Yeah.
How many coffees per day?
2, maybe 1 matcha as well.
A good mix. How often do you struggle as a founder?
Uh, like struggle. I would say like once a week.
And the last thing that made you really proud as a founder, if you think of your company, but also personal life or founder life?
Mm, I think this for me, it's just the whole entire journey. When I always think like, and it humbles me, like where I started off, like just with an idea, and which I more or less, yeah, I mean, I believed in it, of course, but I think you sometimes, or you usually don't know where it will lead you. You sometimes think maybe you think even it will be big, but you didn't know it will go into this direction and it will happen in this way. You cannot know it in advance, of course. And this sometimes somehow like makes you proud as well, like seeing how it actually developed and where you left off.
One thing, or one founder you'd love to have 30 minutes to exchange with.
Elon Musk.
First thing you check in the morning.
Whoop.
And the last question, complete the sentence. Growing a business is like?
Riding a roller coaster.
Nice. Thanks, Martin. Thanks for joining and for the conversation.